The USGS says the amount of lava coming out is more than what we saw with the last eruption earlier this year. It's been 3 months since the last eruption stopped, so this is quite a treat to see.
It is, and this lava is contained to Halemaumau crater, so there's no threat right now to any homes or communities. KITV4's Big Island Bureau Chief Jeremy Lee joins us now live from Hawaii Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island. And Jeremy, how's it looking out there tonight?
It is incredible out here, and it has cleared up, and you can see the lava lake behind me in all of its brilliance. And I've learned a couple of things, and so I'm going to give some suggestions. One, do not wear short sleeves. It is actually very cold, and I am doing my best to not shiver frantically. It is quite brisk here. Bring a flashlight, number 2. Also, when you approach Ue Kahuna, when you're right there in front of the old Jagger Museum, don't go to the right, go to the left. That's where it'll lead you down a path where you'll need your flashlight, and you will get here eventually. And wherever you go, all the way down to the lookout point, you are going to get an incredible view with your eyes or through a lens. I talked to one photographer who got the best aerial view. Let's hear from him and some others. A steady stream of visitors at Volcanoes National Park came to see it for themselves.
What stands out in this eruption is that I've never seen active lava completely cover the bottom of the crater before.
In these photographs taken aboard a Paradise Helicopter's flight, Andrew Richard Hara was one of the first Wednesday morning to capture the lava lake, which now covers 371 acres of the Halemaumau crater floor.
So there's a lot of spatter going in the air. Things are moving really quickly. You see gas kind of coming up from the ground. We even got to see a vortex, which is heat that's rising, but it creates this cone. And so it was whipping the dirt and the heat into the air.
As Kilauea went quiet in March, USGS has since been studying the volcano closely with highly sensitive monitoring equipment, creating a network focused on the frequency of quakes beneath the crater.
Before 8 o'clock, we got one of these seismic swarm alarms, which meant there were a lot of small earthquakes happening here beneath Halemaumau. In the morning, all of a sudden, we were getting more alarms, and all of a sudden where I live, we started feeling the earthquakes. And the house was shaking and rattling, and the alarms kept going off.
With the eruption confined to the caldera, there is no danger to person or property. The park warns visitors, nevertheless, to stay on trails and be aware of hazard warnings.
The plume that you see behind me contains sulfur dioxide, or SO2, in addition to water vapors and CO2 and things like that. The SO2 is what is the primary concern, and it can be fatal if you breathe that in. In addition to the SO2, there's also particulates in it, little pieces of lava like Pele's hair that are stretched out thin, shards of glass basically. If you breathe that in, it's like fiberglass, and other particulates. So definitely an area you want to avoid. Luckily we have great trade wind weather right now, but that could change. That plume could come over where we are now, and usually when that happens we'll temporarily close an area or wait for the winds to change and just encourage people not to be in that plume cloud.
And this is the view that everybody has been streaming in to see. I'm going to zoom in and give you a closer look here. You could see all of the different trails of lava that are gathered in that massive lava lake at Halemaumau crater. And it's really, wow, you could see a little burst there as we finished the zoom. That's all we have here at Volcanoes National Park, reporting live in the chilly, brisk weather. Jeremy Lee, KITV4 Island News.